Before I say anything, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen something you weren't supposed to see? Something that changed how you looked at the people you love forever? My name is Root, and what I'm about to share with you isn't fiction. It's not a rumor. It's the kind of forbidden confession you don't read in books. You live with in silence. I was just trying to enjoy my vacation. I wasn't looking for trouble, but what I saw that night shattered everything. It was a moment that pulled me into a real story of infidelity, and no matter how much I wish I could forget it, I never will. And if you think betrayal is only between two people, you're wrong. Sometimes, the ones who suffer the most are the ones who say nothing. So before we dive in, subscribe, like this video, hit the bell, and comment below. What would you do if you saw your own mother cheating and couldn't unsee it? I can't explain why, but something woke me up that night. We were spending summer vacation at my parents' house. Everything was silent, too silent. But there it was, a soft glow at the end of the hallway. A light still on. Something about it felt off. I got out of bed slowly, trying not to make a sound, and started walking toward it. Each step felt heavier than the last. As I got closer, I heard voices, low, breathy, intimate, laughter. At that hour, I stopped cold. The door to my parents' bedroom was slightly open. I leaned in just enough to see, and what I saw shattered everything I believed. My mom was in bed with another man, and it wasn't my father. I froze. My body went numb. It was like stepping into a real infidelity story. Not something I read online, not a rumor, but a forbidden confession unfolding right in front of me. The man was younger, unfamiliar, and the way she looked at him, it wasn't a mistake. It was desire. My mother, the woman who raised me with morals and discipline, was now the face of a cheating wife's story, and I was the silent witness. I backed away slowly, my hands shaking, heart racing. I locked myself in my room, my thoughts spiraling. How could I ever look at her the same way? How would I face my father in the morning, knowing what I knew? He was asleep in the guest room, clueless. But I was awake, and now carrying the weight of a secret that would change our family forever. Morning came too quickly. I hadn't slept. I stayed curled up in bed, listening to the quiet hum of the house waking up, pretending everything was normal. But nothing felt normal. My mind kept replaying the scene, the cheating, the soft whispers, the way she smiled at him. It wasn't just a slip. It was intentional. And I was the only one who knew. At breakfast, she greeted me with the same warmth as always. Her smile felt fake. Or maybe it was real, and I had changed. I stared at her, wondering how someone could hold such a hidden affair behind such calm eyes. My father joined us moments later, laughing about a dream he had. The betrayal was sitting across from him, and he had no idea. I barely spoke. My mom asked if I was feeling okay. I nodded, afraid that even a word would betray the storm inside me. I had become part of something I never chose to be in, a silent accomplice to a story of betrayal. The guilt wasn't mine, yet I was the one drowning in it. That's what makes emotional betrayal so devastating. It spreads far beyond the people involved. That morning, I realized that secrets like these don't just stay hidden. They bleed into everything. Every look, every silence, every unanswered question. I wanted to scream, to confront her, to ask why. But I couldn't. Not yet. Because the worst part wasn't just watching my mother cheat on my father. The worst part was knowing that I hadn't seen the end of it. That afternoon, I stayed in my room, hoping no one would come looking for me. But someone did. A quiet knock at the door made my stomach twist. It was my father. "Hey," he said gently, "can we talk?" I hesitated, then opened the door. His eyes looked tired, concerned. I wasn't ready for what he was about to say. He sat on the edge of my bed, not looking at me directly. "I've noticed you've been distant today," he started. "Is everything okay?" I wanted to scream no. I wanted to blurt out the shocking confession I had kept buried since the night before. But I froze. He kept talking. "Sometimes I feel like your mother and I are strangers lately." His voice cracked. "I think she's hiding something." It was like being stabbed twice. Once for seeing the infidelity, and again for hearing that he suspected it, but didn't know how to face it. My heart raced. He was opening a door without realizing that I'd already seen through it. "Do you think I'm crazy?" he asked. "Do you think I'm imagining things?" I looked into his eyes and lied. "No, Dad. I'm sure everything's fine." That moment broke me. I was carrying a secret too heavy to hold, yet I couldn't let it go. The real story of infidelity wasn't just about my mother. It was about my father's trust, about the silence between them, and now between us. And deep down, I knew this wasn't the end. Because the truth has a cruel habit of finding its way out, one way or another. That night, I told myself maybe it had been a one-time mistake. Maybe she had ended it. Maybe I could unsee it. But lies don't sit quietly for long. Around midnight, I couldn't sleep again. The silence in the house was too heavy. That same uneasy feeling returned, pulling me toward the hallway like a warning I couldn't ignore. I stepped out and noticed it immediately. The door to my parents' room was closed, but the guest room, the one that should have been empty, was lit. I held my breath and moved closer. And then he walked out. The same man. Same age, same confident air, same scent of betrayal. He looked around, unaware I was watching from the shadows. My chest tightened. The silent affair wasn't over. It was just beginning. He walked down the hall and disappeared out the back door, as if nothing had happened. I stood there, frozen again. This wasn't a cheating story I was imagining. It was real, recurring, and deliberate. My mother had made a choice. She was cheating in marriage, and I was the witness to every stolen second of it. I returned to my room, more shaken than before. This wasn't just about secrecy anymore. It was turning into a game of deception happening under the same roof. A forbidden confession waiting to explode. And in that moment, I knew the next time wouldn't be the last. I wasn't just caught in the middle of betrayal. I was becoming a prisoner of it. The next few days were a blur. I avoided eye contact. I avoided conversation. But the weight of the forbidden secret was eating me alive. My mom acted like nothing was wrong. She laughed. She cooked. She kissed my father goodnight. But all I could see was the unfaithful wife behind that smile. And every time I looked at my dad, I felt like I was lying too. Then one afternoon, something unexpected happened. My mom asked me to help her clean the guest room. I hesitated but nodded. As we folded the sheets, she paused. "You've been quiet lately," she said without looking at me. "Is something bothering you?" I froze. My throat dried up. Her tone was calm, but her eyes were sharp. She knew, or suspected, or maybe she just wanted to test me. I muttered something about being tired, but she didn't stop. "You know, sometimes people see things they shouldn't," she whispered, tucking the pillow under the blanket. "And sometimes people misunderstand what they see." My chest tightened. My head was spinning. Was this her cheating wife's story defense? A warning? A manipulation? That moment cracked something in me. I didn't answer. I left the room. But I knew one thing. This betrayal wasn't going to stay buried much longer. The glances, the tension, the fear. It was all building towards something. I didn't know when or how, but the truth was about to hit all of us like a storm no one could stop. It didn't take long. 2 nights later, I heard voices, louder than whispers, more tense than before. I crept to the hallway again, but this time, I wasn't alone. My father was already standing there, frozen, listening. His hand hovered just inches from the doorknob to their room, and inside we both heard it. Her voice, not soft, not innocent, but full of desire. And the other man. My father didn't knock. He didn't scream. He just turned around slowly, and for the first time in my life, I saw what pure betrayal looked like on someone's face. I thought I knew what heartbreak was, but this was something else. It wasn't just a cheating story now, it was our story. His story. Mine. A forbidden confession neither of us ever asked to be part of. The next morning, she acted normal again, until she saw his packed suitcase. No yelling, no confrontation, just silence, and a glance between the two of us that said everything. She knew what we knew, and we knew the truth wasn't hers to hide anymore. My father left with dignity, not rage. But behind his eyes was a storm she'd never see the end of. As for me, I changed. I grew. I understood too soon how heavy the cost of silence can be. I never spoke a word of what I saw. I didn't need to, because the real weight of a real story of infidelity isn't in the act itself, it's in the aftermath. And now I carry that story, not because I want it, but because someone has to remember it. Now you know. I didn't choose to be part of this cheating wife story. I didn't ask to carry this hidden affair on my back. But life doesn't always give you choices. It gives you consequences. And the day I watched my mother betray my father wasn't the day our family broke. It was the day I realized silence can be just as heavy as truth. If this real infidelity story shook something in you, tell me in the comments. Have you ever held in a secret that wasn't yours? Have you ever watched someone pretend to love while destroying everything behind closed doors? Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's still calling it love when it's already a betrayal. Subscribe for more forbidden confessions, and remember, the truth doesn't stay hidden forever. It always finds a witness.